Andy, you look very, very confident. This is the big one for you. Probably have the reputation as the best puncher in the lightweight division. Arguello has a reputation as a slow starter. That might tell us something, but how are you going to fight this guy?
Well, I just got to be patient and listen to my corner and work from them. Use their mind. I want to say aloha to the boys in Hawaii.
No fireworks, no big fireworks in that first round?
You never know what could happen.
Andy Ganigan was born on September 3, 1952, in Waipahu, Hawaii, one of 9 kids crammed into a family that knew how to fight. His father, Alfred Ganigan, was a standout amateur featherweight, but Andy didn't start swinging fists because of his father. He followed a bunch of friends into the Waipahu gym at the age of 13. Everyone but Andy quit, one of his friends said. Deep down, he really loves the sport. Under the guidance of trainers Albert Silva and Bay Sojot, Ganigan fought for 3 years as an amateur, winning local tournaments. His biggest moment came at the National Golden Gloves, where he went to war with Bubba Busceme and lost by a hair. It didn't matter. His left cross was dynamite, and he knew it. So Ganigan turned pro in May of 1972, fighting under promoter Sad Sam Ichinose and his son Larry. He won his first 3 fights easy, but then came Jesse Villaganza, a 6-rounder that he won on points, but at a cost. The commission held up his purse, said his performance wasn't up to standard. What they didn't know was that he broke both his hands in the second round. Ganigan then disappeared from the ring for 2.5 years, letting his hands heal, letting the fire build. Then he came back like a wrecking ball. He tore through Hawaii, knocking out Turi Pineda and Gerardo Ferrat, veterans who had seen everything but still couldn't handle his power. The knockouts piled up. Then came Ernesto the Turtle Garfias, a wily vet who tucked his chin and survived all the way to the final bell, only the second man to do so against Ganigan. But the message was clear. Hawaii had never seen a puncher like Ganigan before. He wasn't just coming for local fighters. He was coming to make history. He was knocking guys flat, Vicente Mijares, Carlos Becerril, whoever they put in front of him, climbing the rankings like a man with somewhere to be. But in between fights, the weight crept up, sometimes 13 pounds over the 135-pound weight limit. Andy keeps telling me, "The Lord says don't waste food," trainer Al Silva said. The man had an appetite, not just for food, but for cutting corners. They found him hiding in the sugarcane fields instead of doing his road work. When trainer Silva caught him, Ganigan just grinned and said, "Don't worry, I won't get tired. My fights won't be long." So far, he was always right. They called him the Pride of Waipahu and the Sugar Man, because he worked at the Oahu Sugar Company. He was packing 5,000 to 7,000 fans into the Blaisdell Center Arena, giving Hawaii a knockout artist to believe in. Then he and his team called out Roberto Duran. They wanted the lightweight king, and the way Ganigan was wrecking people, a title shot felt like a sure thing. Then came August of 1978. Ganigan was 25-0 with 23 knockouts, looking like a runaway train. Then he ran into Johnny Lira. For 6 rounds, Ganigan had him beat. He was ahead on the cards, picking Lira apart, looking like he was about to punch his ticket to the big leagues. Then the fight turned. Lira cracked him, and Ganigan hit the canvas like a tree in a storm. He didn't get up. They carried him out on a stretcher, straight to the hospital. Concussion, amnesia, the whole thing wiped from his memory. He didn't sulk, didn't make excuses. "It's nice to have the pressure of staying undefeated off me now," Ganigan said. Later, the truth came out. Ganigan went into the fight with a punctured eardrum, courtesy of a sparring session gone wrong. 6 days before Lira, someone cuffed his ear with an open glove. He got checked out, and the doc cleared him anyway, said it wasn't enough to stop the fight. Less than 3 weeks after his defeat, Ganigan found himself staring down the barrel of a gun. He was behind the wheel, his childhood friend Roy Takahashi riding beside him, when some hothead pulled up and rolled down his window. "Why'd you cut in front of me?" Then the car tailed them, road rage in action. They hit an intersection. The guy pulled up again, this time with a gun. Ganigan barely had time to register it before the first shot rang out. Both men ducked, but Takahashi panicked, flung the door open, and bolted toward a nearby shopping center. Ganigan heard more shots, then silence. Finally he got out, scanning the night for his friend. The cops showed up, flashlights slicing through the dark, searching bushes, alleyways, parking lots. 30 minutes later they found Takahashi, sprawled out in the dirt by a gas station, bleeding from a gunshot wound to the stomach. They got him to the hospital. It wasn't enough. He died there. Ganigan mourned his friend, questioned everything, but 5 months later he was back in the ring. He rattled off 4 wins, clawing his way back to the #1 WBC lightweight ranking. They promised him a shot at Jim Watt's lightweight title, the dream, the championship, within reach. Then came Robert the Ripper Vasquez. Ganigan was ahead on the cards, doing to Vasquez what he did to everyone, breaking him down punch by punch. Then Vasquez did what Lira had done before him. He rallied. In the 7th round, Vasquez turned it all around. Ganigan never saw it coming. Another stoppage, another detour, another brutal lesson. Ganigan came back 7 months later, this time with a new trainer, Mario Silva, no relation to Albert. New trainer, new approach. Mario drilled it into him. Less reckless Hawaiian brawling, more thinking. And it worked. First order of business? Payback. Ganigan ran it back with Robert Vasquez and gave him a taste of his own medicine, stopping him in the 7th, just like Vasquez had done to him. But something wasn't sitting right. Ganigan was tired of fighting in Hawaii, tired of being a local attraction when he wanted to be on the world stage. He wanted out of his contract with Sad Sam Ichinose, wanting bigger fights, bigger stages, bigger paydays. So he kept winning, 3 more fights, 3 more wins. Then came the biggest fight of his career, Gato Gonzalez on national television. Ganigan came out fast, and in the 3rd, he dropped Gato hard. A left to the chin, then another left to put him on the floor. Gonzalez popped right back up. He kept his distance, let his head clear. He wasn't there to be another victim. Ganigan clipped him again in the 4th, a hard left that buzzed Gonzalez. But Gato spun out of danger, refused to let Ganigan finish what he started. Then the fight turned. Gonzalez stopped backing up. He shortened his punches, started throwing sharp, compact shots, the kind that got him his reputation. And in the 6th, he found his mark. Caught Ganigan coming in. Ganigan hit the canvas. 15 seconds later, another combination put him down again. The crowd erupted. Beer rained down. Firecrackers exploded. Ganigan made it out of the round, glassy-eyed, but alive. He was still ahead on 2 scorecards. 2 judges had him up by 2 to 4 points. The 3rd judge had it even. The fight wasn't over, but the tide had turned. In the 7th, Gonzalez clipped Ganigan again with a short, grazing shot. Nothing special, nothing brutal, but their legs tangled up. And when he connected, Ganigan tripped. He hit the canvas. The ref called it a knockdown. Then came the 8th, and by then, Gato had already landed at least 6 low blows. Finally, the referee took a point. Too little, too late. When the final bell rang, Gonzalez took the majority decision. Ganigan didn't whine, didn't cry robbery. He won the fight, Ganigan said. But I thought it was closer. I want him again. He turned to Sad Sam Ichinose and laid it out straight. Bring him to Hawaii, Ganigan said, and I'll knock him out. I'd love to, Ichinose said. But Gato would be a fool to come to Honolulu. And that was that. The loss stung, but not as much as life did. Ganigan's world was coming apart at the seams. His marriage was over. His relationship with the Ichinoses was circling the drain, and a proposed big fight against Sean O'Grady got postponed. The official reason? Ganigan had injured his hand and had a nasty case of bronchitis. The real reason? He was falling apart. Domestic problems, he called it. A polite way of saying his life was in the gutter. I can't concentrate, Ganigan admitted. It's hard to train. My heart's not in it. He thought about walking away, dropping the gloves, punching a clock at the sugar mill, growing old the quiet way. Then the call came. Howard Davis Jr. pulled out. Suddenly, the O'Grady fight was back on the table, less than 2 weeks to prepare. 11 pounds overweight. Didn't matter. Ganigan said yes. Some fights you don't turn down.
Would normally go to Ganigan, as you could see, 29 to 22, but it is O'Grady who has had many more fights, having started as a pro at the age of 15. O'Grady in green with white trim, Ganigan in gold with green trim, and that distinctive tattoo on the back of his back, which is a lion, and he's known in Hawaii as the Lion of Hawaii.
Tim, this fight could really become a brawl. I think Ganigan is probably the better puncher with one solid punch, but I just have a feeling that Sean O'Grady has a better chin than Andy Ganigan. That could be a deciding factor in this fight.
Oh, a good solid left hand, and we saw that O'Grady can take a punch.
Well, we know that. Beautiful combination by Ganigan. 2 right hooks and then a straight left. Fight could try to outbox Ganigan, but I don't think anybody's going to outbox anybody in this ring.
Good combination to the body by Sean O'Grady, and he is regarded as an excellent body puncher by all observers of boxing. Sean O'Grady, managed and trained by his father, Pat O'Grady, has Ralph Citro in his corner. Larry Ichinos, the manager of Ganigan, he's trained by Mario Silva. 10-point scoring system in effect here. Ganigan scoring heavily. 9 or fewer points to the loser of a round. A good left uppercut landed from Ganigan. Backed up O'Grady.
That hurt Sean a little bit.
Yes, it did.
Tim, both of these fighters have good hands. They both have thrown good combinations already this round, and it's early.
Ganigan has not fought since that loss to Gonzalez in June. Now O'Grady on the attack. But he was training for a 10-round fight against Arturo Leon, which was postponed, and then all of a sudden the phone call to come here replacing Howard Davis in this fight against Sean O'Grady. He has been in training.
Tim, that Ganigan takes chances. He wings, he leaves himself wide open.
Good counter-punching flurry there by O'Grady as Ganigan came off the rope. In the fight against Gonzalez, we saw Ganigan knock him down on the 3rd round. He went down a couple of times himself, wound up losing a decision. He landed a good right hand there.
Big right hook by Ganigan. We were watching him in the gymnasium, Tim, and that right hook was devastating.
Less than 30 seconds in round 1. You don't have to worry about action in this one. Larry Hazard, the referee, state of New Jersey, worked the Kinty fight, which O'Grady won, winning the WBA title since round number 2. It is scheduled for 15 in Little Rock, Arkansas. Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy bringing you the action between Sean O'Grady and Andy Ganigan. O'Grady at the top of your screen in green. Oh, good left hand landed from Ganigan.
Tim, if these guys were football teams, the final score would probably be about 66-60. They're both so offensive-minded. Nobody worries too much about defense.
There's a slight cut, it appears, near the corner of the right eye of Ganigan, and Ganigan scored with a good combination backing up O'Grady. Try and get a better look at that blood or abrasion to the right of Ganigan's eye. Left-handed Andy Ganigan. Slight cut right in the corner of the right eye of Ganigan. Of course, O'Grady has had the reputation of being a bleeder. He's since had some surgery. Good, he's hurt. O'Grady was done. Down he goes. Ganigan with 2 left hands, and Sean O'Grady getting slowly to his feet. He's still in trouble. We're just in the 2nd round. O'Grady looking not real clear-eyed at this point.
He was stunned, Tim, before the knockdown punch.
Ganigan came out winging, but missed with the right hand, and O'Grady's in difficulty still. Looking to his corner, and his father and manager and trainer, Pat O'Grady, and Ganigan backs him up and knocks him right into the corner rope.
Now, this could prove important. If that's counted as a knockdown, Tim, they have the 3 knockdown rule in effect.
It is in effect. And indeed, it was Pat O'Grady who insisted that it remain so.
Yes, and O'Grady did not go down, Tim. He sat on the bottom rope.
But they called it a knockdown. They counted it. Now O'Grady rallies, and Ganigan takes a combination from O'Grady.
Tim, somebody better start thinking defense, especially Sean. He better try to get through this round.
Ganigan trying to finish O'Grady, wobbled him again, and he knocks him back into the rope.
He's helpless, Tim.
O'Grady, but he's staying on his feet. Credit to his stamina and conditioning. Less than a minute to go. Down he goes to the left of the body.
That's it. The fight is over.
The 3rd knockdown in the 2nd round, and Andy Ganigan has knocked out Sean O'Grady for his 3rd knockdown of the 2nd round. And while you pointed out O'Grady did not go to the canvas, in the rules meeting they said if a fighter was helpless on the ropes, it would be a knockdown, and that was the case, the way Larry Hazard, the referee, saw it.
The win rejuvenated Ganigan. He had spent the last year teetering on the edge, but now he was in line for a title shot. His team wasted no time. They wanted Alexis Arguello. The The legend, the sharpshooter, the guy nobody beat. Arguello took one look at Ganigan and called his style weird, but dangerous. Nobody gave Ganigan a chance. 8-1 underdog. A formality, another name on Arguello's list. But then the fight started, and suddenly Arguello had a problem. Ganigan's herky-jerky movement, his awkward rhythm, his raw power, it wasn't supposed to work, but it did.
From Ganigan, and then punishing him with a left hook to the head. Under a minute to go in round number 1. Ganigan has shown himself to be fearless against everybody, and he seemed very relaxed and very poised coming into this title fight against a boxer many consider a living legend.
Well, he's much shorter than Arguello, and he has been reaching in a little bit. If he gets nailed coming in.
Oh, good left hook. Arguello down to the canvas. A solid left hook. Just as Gil Clancy said he might be reaching in, he stepped in and landed that left hook and set the champion to the canvas. That has the crowd on its feet. Ganigan trying to bore in, lands a right hand to the ear.
That right jab of Ganigan's is just a teaser. It means absolutely nothing. Just flicks it out there. Tries to get divert Alexis Arguello's attention.
Arguello just missed. Just grazed the chin with a big right hand. Ganigan picked it up well. Oh, he knocks him down with a solid right hand. Solid right hand sends Ganigan to the canvas. He got up immediately, indicating he's all right, but it was a solid shot by Arguello.
Arguello caught him reaching, Tim. Caught him reaching.
Round number 3. Now each fighter has been down. Ganigan boring in, but Arguello blocking well. Well, it's been everything we expected.
The height advantage is really helping Arguello because Ganigan has to reach in for his punches, and when he does, he leaves himself wide open. There, he just got nailed with a good left hook.
Solid exchange by both fighters, and Arguello lands another right hand. Good right hand knocks Ganigan into the ropes. In the Arguello corner, now Arguello trying to finish. Scoring to the chest. He's got Ganigan tied up in the corner. Misses with a right hand. Ganigan refusing to hold on, goes toe-to-toe with him.
He nailed Arguello with a tremendous right hook.
He backed him up. He backed him up and worked his way to the middle of the ring. What a show by Ganigan. What a battle, Ganigan and Arguello. And there he's hit Arguello. He wobbled him. Ganigan staggered Arguello. Arguello hanging in there now. 30 seconds left in round 3. Less than that, pardon me. We're coming down to final seconds in the 3rd round. Good solid left by Arguello. And a right hand staggers Ganigan at the bell. The crowd here at the Aladdin Hotel on their feet. A tremendous 3rd round. All away from it.
Arguello is keeping him at the proper distance, Tim. He's got him out there where he has to reach, and he can still reach Ganigan. Ganigan can't reach him without taking a big chance.
72-inch reach, but the champion scores a right hand.
Beautiful combination, Tim. Left hook under, right hand on the chin.
Ganigan trying to work his way in, failed to do so. Under a minute to go. Round number 4. Good left hand by the champion, and a right to the body. Arguello scores another combination, and Ganigan looks a little bit wobbly.
Every time he looks wobbly, he comes back, Tim.
He is a battler. Takes another right hand, but again, he was backing up.
Arguello is so much the cooler of the two. Andy's winging, and Alexis has those hands up. Good concentration.
Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy live from the Aladdin Hotel in Las Vegas. The challenger, Andy Ganigan, bleeding from the nose at the end of round 4. We are into round 5 with the champion in red on the left of your screen.
Tim in Ganigan's corner, they told him don't wait, and Arguello's corner told him to go after him. So we should see the big bombs again this round.
Right hand by Arguello just grazed the face of Ganigan. He scores a solid left jab. And another.
Tim, that jab almost put Ganigan down. That's the strength of Arguello.
Again, blood from the nose and some redness under the right eye of Ganigan. Ganigan scores a combination to the face of the champion, who is pulling away. Got a piece of him with the right hand, but not seconds to go in round 5. Ganigan appearing a little tired now.
Little rocky too, Tim.
Right hand scored from the champion, knocks him back with a jab, and a good solid left jab lands. And another. Arguello almost inexorably taking control as we come into the final seconds of round 5. The champion knocks him down at the bell.
He has to get up, Tim. If he doesn't get up, the fight's over.
The floor
He'll be saved by the bell.
And he is not going to make it. He cannot get up. It is over. A 5th round knockout at the bell by the champion Alexis Arguello. And Ganigan still in some pain. Right in his corner, a combination in the final seconds by Arguello, dropping Ganigan and a solid right hand, finishing him off.
You can't win them all, Ganigan said after. You have to lose. I lost and learned things by my mistakes. But that's a hard way to learn. I'm human too. After the loss, he disappeared for 13 months, stuck between retirement and one last shot. The decision wasn't easy. Then the decision was made for him. One of his managers, Douglas Tadding, was stabbed to death after a fight at the Blaisdell Arena. Another reminder of what the world could do to you when you weren't paying attention. Ganigan finally said yes to a comeback. The opponent? Jimmy Paul. Young, hungry, rising up the ranks. The kind of kid who looked at an older fighter and saw a stepping stone. Ganigan knew the risk, but the fight came with national TV exposure. Too good to turn down. Then came the fight. 4 knockdowns. Stopped in the 6th. Afterward, bruised, beaten, broken, he picked up the phone and called his kids. All my kids cried, Ganigan said. I told them I'm okay. They're so young. They don't understand why I get into the ring and fight. That was it. He was done. He went home to Waipahu, a quiet life, a simpler life. Then came 1987. Ganigan was at a local bar when a fight broke out. A friend of his throwing fists with another guy. Ganigan stepped in to break it up. Wrong move. Someone clocked him, sent him stumbling. Later, when he walked outside, they were waiting for him. Several men. No ref, no bell, no rules. They beat him down, left him lying unconscious in the driveway. Someone found him, got him to a hospital. He survived, but fighting was all he had ever known. 2010. Same story, worse ending. Ganigan had been in fights his whole life, in the ring, in bars, in parking lots, but this time he never got back up. He and a friend had just left Last Stop Bar in Waipahu when it happened. Sucker punch from behind. No warning, no chance to swing back. The attacker? Matthew Kupa, 21 years old, 6 feet, 290 pounds. Drunk, angry, and throwing fists. Kupa beat Ganigan senseless, hammering him into the pavement. By the time it was over, the damage was done. Kupa got arrested, said he was too drunk to remember. Ganigan never got to forget. Brain damage, permanent, needed round-the-clock care. He was 57 years old, no medical insurance except through the state. Nursing homes wouldn't take him, said priority went to older patients. So the family moved him to Las Vegas, where the medical bills ate up everything they had. Ganigan had taken beatings before, but this one never ended. The system failed him. Matthew Kupa got 18 months, a slap on the wrist with an early release for substance abuse treatment. They let him out. By 2017, he was back in court, back in handcuffs, sentenced to 10 years for violating probation. They let him out again, March 2022. 7 months later, he's back at it, waving a gun at a Home Depot employee because he got caught stealing. Meanwhile, Ganigan had run out of time. 2 years trapped in his own body, an invalid, a fighter who could no longer fight. Since the assault, his body can't fight off disease, his niece said. He never recovered. On May 2, 2012, Ganigan died in Las Vegas, his family by his side. Long after his final bell, his legacy still stands. Ganigan was the best fighter Hawaii ever put in the ring. He came from the sugarcane fields, quiet, unnoticed, until his fists started talking for him. And once they did, the whole island listened. He spent his life throwing bombs, trading leather with some of the best, always chasing that next shot, always swinging for something bigger. But life doesn't always go the full 12 rounds. No rematch, no big comeback, no fairy tale ending. Just a man who gave everything he had for as long as his body let him. And sometimes, that's the only kind of victory that ever really matters.